Okay, this is Gary O'Brien, aka the Viper 4567, here with the WWF, the Attitude Era Volume Episode 3, which is WWF Wrestlemania 13, which obviously which is 1997, which was in the Rosemont Palace in suburban Chicago, Illinois. Obviously this is the third episode now of the show, and this is probably this is probably the worst WrestleMania I've ever watched in my whole entire life. Like, I've watched a couple of the earlier shows and I thought, yeah, they were okay, but this one, is one of the worst WrestleManias probably that I've ever watched so far. Anyway, I've not watched all of them, but I tell you one thing, this one, except for the submission match or the I Quit match you want to call it, between Bret Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin, other than that, the rest of the matches were absolutely terrible. Besides that match, there was nothing of interest on this card whatsoever. I don't get why WWF, like, the one pay-per-view that they would want to do well, they just absolutely not deliver by a country fucking mile. Like, I don't get that. Why WWF don't want to have a great WrestleMania? I know you cannot have great pay-per-views all the time, but why would you not want to have a good one on your main show, basically? Basically the Super Bowl of wrestling, which I just don't get. Obviously, some of the writers, I don't get writers really, to be honest, in WWE or WWF. Like, obviously they're not related to wrestling. They should be wrestling fans, not fucking writers that are in movies or TV shows or whatever. Like, wrestling is totally different towards TV shows. You can make a good TV. It's totally different. So, okay, let's get on with this. The first match was the Headbangers defeating the new Blackjacks, the Godwinns and Furnas and LaFon to become the number one contenders for the WWF Tag Team Championships, which was the next night on Raw, which was a crap match. Honestly, it wasn't great at all. The winner obviously got the title shot after WrestleMania, but a god-awful match. Started off with a shitty brawl. The Headbangers do a double team on LaFon with a flapjack. LaFon then gets a crappy looking suplex, which gets a 2 count. Wyndham, which I think was on Barry Windham. Bradshaw then looks like basically Bradshaw is an absolute. We never really rated him as a wrestler. Basically, what the fuck moment. Basically, Bradshaw shoves the referee. He gets disqualified, and basically the Doug Furnas and LaFon both get counted out at the same time, which I don't get. Which basically leaves the Headbangers and the Godwinns. Yeah, what the fuck, basically. They work on Trasher for a while. Hot tag then. Trasher to Mosh, which gets no reaction whatsoever. The crowd was absolute fucking dead throughout most of the pay-per-view, but towards the end then they got into war, obviously the last couple of matches, but other than that the crowd were absolute dead yet again. Then Mosh launches Trasher onto Henry Godwinn, and then the Cannonball gets the win for the Headbangers, which in what was not the greatest way to ever start off WrestleMania. Sorry, I got a notification there, my apologies, from Facebook. So Headbangers win. They get the number one contenders match, which I'll give 1/4 star at best. Being very nice there. Next match then is Rocky Maivia defeating the Sultan to retain the WWF Intercontinental title. Oh, another god awful match. No offense, the Sultan, who I only realised myself recently was Rikishi, thanks to obviously I watch other people's. I've watched plenty of reviews of the show well before I was going to do this. I didn't think it was Rikishi. It doesn't even look like Rikishi. I didn't even know that until someone obviously reviewed it and said it was Rikishi, which it was. But like, why I just don't get, like, no offense, at this time, like, this should not be an Intercontinental title match. Like, Rocky Maivia was still kind of a rookie at the time and very green, but again, it was an utter shit match, really. The Honky Tonk Man came out to do commentary, basically shouting the whole time. You know, like one of those shouty promos. Fucking quit. Sultan had Bob Backlund and the Iron Sheik. Yay. Nice shoulder block. Well, we started the match with a nice shoulder block from the Sultan, then a couple of drop kicks from Rocky. Sultan gets a nerve hold on the Rock. This is where also the first time I actually heard this myself of the Rocky suck chants, basically. But sure. Okay, the headbutt off the top gets 2 for Sultan. Belly to belly then from Sultan gets a 2 as well. Rocky gets a belly to belly, which was nice. Got a 2 count and a nice DDT and a crossbody. But the ref gets distracted by the Sheik and assaults them with a lovely super kick and a pile driver, which only gets 2. And basically the win comes up thanks to a shitty roll up from The Rock. And what was a crap match. I'm going to give it a quarter star. I'm basically being nice. After the match, then the 3 heels attack Rocky. Then Rocky Johnson, his father, comes out. He gets home, but then obviously they end the clean house, which basically what baby faces do. So, wow, who gives a fuck? Basically, not a great start to WrestleMania. Let's just say. Next match is Hunter Hearst Helmsley defeating Goldust in another god awful match. A half star I give this. Again, like, I just don't get this. This is supposed to be WrestleMania, and yet we're getting these crap matches. Like, Triple H vs Goldust should be a better match, because Hunter Hearst, at the time, yeah, Triple H wasn't the greatest, but still, Jesus Christ, like. Before the match, Triple H we'll get on with this basically. Triple H has an interview. Yeah, it was another crap interview, let's just say. 1997, basically, at the start. It's not been good. Fair enough, the last paper, the In Your House one wasn't too bad, but God, there's not been. Just, I don't know. Goldust starts off being in control. The crowd does not even give a shit, basically. Goldust then does a power bomb on Triple H. Triple H then goes for Sid and gets thrown off, and basically Goldust pushes Goldust, hits his face off the apron. Triple H then takes control of the match, which includes a DDT and a suplex and a leg breaker. Inside cradle gets 2 for Goldust. Funny moment when Triple H down top rope, he jumps and Goldust hits him with basically ass first. Brilliant. A Bulldog gets 2 for Goldust, and China then goes after Marlene. Basically, Marlene gets onto the ropes, and basically Goldust gets pushed into her. China's basically bear hugging the shit over her, and Goldust obviously gets distracted and then eats a pedigree, and the win gets that then for Triple H. So overall, another crap match, but better than the first 2, we'll say. I'm going to give it a half star. So really not getting overexcited about this WrestleMania. Now we get to kind of the interesting part of the show. Kind of the last 4 matches were better than the opening 3, let's just say. Owen Hart, was it Owen Hart and British Bulldog? Yeah, Owen Hart and British Bulldog draw with Vader and Mankind to retain obviously they retained the tag titles, and what was an okay match, I must say. If the match didn't have to end in the way it did, it could have been at least a 2.5 star. I think, in my opinion, it was actually a decent match, I must say. One of the best match, obviously, of the night so far, basically. So it was, I think if they didn't have to do that ending, it would have been a better match. But sure, look, it's WWF for it. Vader controls Owen at the start, which includes a powerbomb, and weird to see that he doesn't even go for a pin. But then Mankind and Bulldog go at it, and then Bulldog gets a vertical suplex on both Mankind and Vader. Then Vader hits Vader then hits Bulldog with Paul Bear's urn. Slash off the top rope gets 2 for Vader on Bulldog. Mankind then goes for the Madam Claw, which gets obviously out. Bulldog then gets a power slam on Vader. Owen Hart then gets a 2 from a crossbody from the top rope. Vader holds Owen Hart in the backbreaker position, and just on the outside there, Mankind just basically doesn't dive an elbow onto him while Vader does a backbreaker, basically, which was nice. Owen Hart then gets a lovely DVT on Mankind. Owen then does a belly to belly on Mankind on the outside, which they're both facing on this. Mankind runs to him, basically just literally throws him over. It was absolutely fantastic. Owen then with a nice insecurity on Mankind, and the match ends basically Bulldog and Mankind. Mankind has the Madam Claw, but basically fall out of the ring and basically just get counted out. So it's obviously a draw, which it was kind of a crappy way of ending the match. But sure, look, like, it was a better match than the first 3, so I'll give it a 1.5 stars. But at the end of the day, if this match had to continue maybe for another 2 or 3 minutes, if it was a proper finish, this could have got 2, maybe 2.5. But sure, look, blame Vince. So yeah. Next then is Bret Hart defeating Stone Cold Steve Austin in an excellent match, in what was probably by far one of the greatest matches I've ever watched in my life. Like, I've watched some very good matches throughout the years. I've actually watched this match before. This is probably I think this is the first time I've actually watched this match in its entirety, basically, because I've never really got the chance to watch it. And like, I have the Stone Cold DVD, I think I have a few other DVDs that probably would have this match on it, but I just never got around to watching it. And by golly, it's one of the greatest matches I've ever watched in my life. 5 stars easily. I'm surprised, and the surprising thing was Ken Shamrock was the special guest referee. At the time he was in the UFC, but I think he signed for the WWF then basically a short time later, I think, or it was probably after this really. Basically this was what this WrestleMania was remembered by, which is sad in a way. You would like to see 2 or 3 matches being remembered, but this was the only really match that you could remember. So it all starts off basically with a brawl. Bret Hart then throws Austin into the ring post. Bret throws Austin into the ring, and then Austin basically puts Bret Hart cross first onto the guardrail, which looked absolutely fucking sore. Then they brawl into the crowd, which is nice. Austin then goes for a pile driver, but gets reversed into a backdrop, which looked sick. When they get back into the ring, kind of towards the ringside area, Austin throws Bret into the steel steps and then clothesline from the apron of the ring. Then finally they get back into the ring after 5 or 6 minutes on the outside. Bret Hart then with a nice neck breaker, I should say. Sorry, apologies. Bret then works on Austin's knee for at least 3 or 4 minutes. Austin's obviously coming into this match with a bad knee, jumping on his knee from the ropes, basically. And then Austin gets a stunner on Bret and then Bret basically figure fours Austin, were using advantage of the ring post, basically, which is probably, I think, the first time I've seen that from that era anyway. Basically the crowd are absolutely shit hot for this match. Which really surprised me. Bret then goes to use a chair on Austin's ankle. Well, you could say his ankle and knee. And he goes up to the tower. It takes too much time, right? Austin gets up and just whacks him with the chair. Hits him, I think, twice with the chair. Austin then comes off the top rope and hits an elbow. Austin then gets an arm crossbreaker in, and then the Boston Crab, and then which Bret Hart then gets to the ropes. Austin then goes for Bret Hart's move, the sharpshooter, but Bret Hart rakes the eyes. Austin gets whipped into the guardrail and basically head first. He pisses blood really bad. We don't know where he got the blade job. Like, he is pissing blood. Like, I say he probably lost at least half a litre of blood, because like he really did piss blood in this match. Back into the ring then, Bret then with a backbreaker. Bret then goes for the sharpshooter, but Austin reverses it in the corner. Austin then goes low with a low blow. Austin gets a television cable, and basically just chokes the shit out of Bret. But Bret grabs the ring bell, which is within the ring, and smashes it into Austin's face. Bret then gets the sharpshooter, and basically that's where Austin face, the famous face of all blooded up, and he's like, ah. And basically, which is priceless. He passes out with pain. That's what gets the win for Bret. Basically, Ken Shamrock says he's had enough. After the match, then Bret basically acts like a heel, beating up Austin, and then Shamrock basically just pushing him away, and then basically he belly the back suplex Bret, and which was brilliant. Bret then leaves. The crowd absolutely get on his fucking case about it, which is rightly so, really. Then after the match, then referees try to console Austin. Austin just basically stuns the ref, and Austin then leaves basically with an absolute massive pop. So overall, a fantastic fucking match, I must say. Excuse me. An absolute awesome match. Really enjoyed watching it. I'm going to probably watch it again sometime between now and the end of this year, basically. It's a fantastic fucking match. And as I've said, I'm going to give this match a full 5 stars. You cannot take any points off this match. It was fantastic. Basically, they're just, like, for Stone Cold, Stone Cold's not the greatest wrestler of all time. We all know that. But, this match works so well. Obviously, I'm glad it was a submission match. If it was any other type of match, it probably wouldn't have got a 5 star. So yeah. Next match then, the Legion of Doom and Ahmed Johnson defeat Faarooq, Crush, and Savio Vega in a meh match. Like, really, nobody was ever going to live up to this match. Kind of basically, what would you call it? Live up to the next match, basically. Go out and fucking top that. No one would ever do that, but the match itself was too much mayhem. Like, there's too much happening, really. You have the whole of the nation of domination out there. Really kind of, there's not much there other than getting involved. Like, Johnson does 2 nice springboard planches into the crowd, which was nice. And most true thing is when Ahmed had Faarooq on the top of the French announce, he goes to pile drive. He pile drives him, but he misses the fucking table. Like, for Ahmed is just such a fucking botcher. The win comes from basically Ahmed Johnson crushing the 2x4 around the skull, and Hawk gets the pin, and then they just clean house then after the match. So other than that, like, it wasn't a great match if I'm being completely and utterly honest. I give it a star, probably a completely and utter best I could give that, but sure, look, what can you do? Just bear with me for a sec. So yeah, I'll give it a star. Next match then is your main event of the evening. The Undertaker defeats Sid Vicious in an okay match. This match went, what, about 22 minutes, or maybe longer. I think this match went far too long. Before the match then, obviously, HBK comes out to do commentary, and Bret Hart then obviously Taker and Sid have come in. Bret Hart comes out and basically rips into HBK, saying that his knee injury is not as bad as he thinks, and go back and change your smile, whatever. He says basically Taker's not his friend anymore, and the current champion, basically he should be WWF champion. Basically just Sid just clotheslines him and powerbombs the shit out of him, which gets the crowd by the biggest ovation Sid Vicious is ever going to fucking get in his life. Then basically the match starts with Taker giving Sid a big boot and a splash, and basically a splash and a slam, which gets a 2 count. Then Taker does his signature walk on the rope move. Sid gets in with kind of comes back with a bear hug. They end up on the outside. Sid drops Taker onto the guardrails. Back in the ring, Sid does a camel clutch and then an okay looking power slam, which only gets a 2. A leg drop then gets 2 for Sid. He's basically getting frustrated at this point, really getting pissed off, I think. Then they basically on the outside and brawl and get back in it as Sid does a chin lock, and basically Taker counts into a power slam. Taker then puts on a Vulcan nerve grip. Yay. Both of them then go for a big boot, and they both knock each other out. Sid then gives Taker a clothesline from the top, and then Taker crotches Sid and pushes him off the top rope. Taker gets a 2 count for a clothesline off the top rope. Taker then goes for a tombstone but counters into one of his own, which gets only a 2. Then Bret Hart basically comes in and hits Sid with a chair, and then Taker then gets a chokeslam, which only gets 2. Sid then goes for a power, but yet again distracts him. Bret Hart distracts him, and Taker gets the tombstone pile driver, which gets the win. So basically Bret Hart costing Sid Vicious the WWF Championship. Obviously I thought maybe there might be a feud after this. I don't think there is. But overall the match went, I think, about 22 minutes long. It was just too long. Like, Undertaker and Sid Vicious should not be facing each other in this type of match for that amount of time. 13 or 14 minutes is plenty. But yet WWE, or WWF I should say at the time, obviously just did not give a shit. They gave them too much time. And the match could have been better if it was 13 or 14 minutes. It could have been 2.5 stars, but look, what can you do? So overall I give the match a 1.5 stars. Sorry, apologies. I was going to say 2.5, but So overall, the pay-per-view itself was absolutely fucking terrible. I didn't like watching. I'll tell you one thing, I did not enjoy the pay-per-view at all, except for that big match between Bret Hart and Stone Cold. Other than that, I did not enjoy this pay-per-view one fucking bit. I'll tell you what, it took me a good couple of hours to watch it, because I kept stopping and starting, really, to be quite honest. So I'm glad I did watch it, but at the end of the day, I'm glad now I have watched it, so I'll never watch it again. Because I tell you one thing, it's one of the worst pay-per-views I've ever. Probably one of the worst WrestleManias ever, and probably one of the worst pay-per-views ever. So overall, I'd give it a 3 at best. I think that's the most you can give is a 3. I think the most you could give is a 3. So I'll only give it a 3 because of the fucking Bret Hart Stone Cold match. So that is the review of WrestleMania 13. The next episode of the Attitude Era is episode 4, obviously, which will be In Your House 14, Revenge of the Taker, which will be uploaded maybe on the Thursday, because obviously today is Sunday. So this video should be uploaded tomorrow, which will be Monday, and hopefully I'll have it up by Thursday, because I'll start watching it maybe tonight. I'll start watching Revenge of the Taker either tonight or tomorrow. So this was the Viper 4567, and obviously my name is Gary O'Brien, and I will talk to you soon. And please subscribe and comment down below. So take it easy, guys.